Jide's Diary, Episode 9. The footsteps we heard were Shola's. They were distinct from every other person's in the school, an observation only known to Banji and me. The others in the school, to the best of our knowledge, were oblivious of this fact. We had tested them on various occasions and they hadn't been able to know she was the one approaching. That day, she sang as she came, and I must say, Shola has one heck of a voice, a sonorous voice that the angel would envy. No wonder she hides under it to perpetrate her evil act. She sang to the tune of Tupac's Shot 'Em All. I knew the song courtesy of my uncle, who is ardent fan of the late singer. She flicked her fingers as she sang the song. In a way, the Igbos would say that she had been enveloped by the spirit of the song. She entered the room and all heads turned to look at her. We too have been singing Gbenga Adeboye's choices with the track Ǹjẹ́ Ẹ Ti on our lips as she stepped into the staff room. Banji and I increased the tempo with which we played the character in the track. I played Gbenga Adeboye. Banji played the backup and follower. We intentionally laughed aloud and dared anyone to talk, especially Shola, but she never said a word. Rather, she stopped her song and greeted everybody generally and walked carefully to her seat. She walked as one who had hot coals on the floor would, picking her steps and looking at the floor, thereby avoiding our eyes. We had become a terror to her. Are we to blame? I knew the other teachers too would be wondering what was wrong with the ever boisterous Shola, especially her two accomplices. They looked from one to other and then to Shola and then to us as they made efforts to know what was wrong. The look on their faces told us of severe brain racking and it triggered another round of laughter between us. I must say we were criminals. All went back to their work, and those not working were packing their bags in anticipation of going home to a good or bad night rest. We, on our own, faced our business of marking, and in less than 30 minutes, we had almost dealt with the piles on our tables. We joked and talked on as we marked. We were almost through with the books when I noticed a shadow across my table. I had never been aware that someone approached me at all, and I was sure that Banji too was caught unaware. The owner of the shadow had either moved stealthily or we had been engrossed in our working banter that we didn't notice. I looked sideways at Banji to see his face creased into a deadly frown, but the person was facing me and not him. He looked at me questioningly, and I replied that I had no idea what the person wanted. All the while, I had not looked at the person, but I was beginning to feel suffocated by the person's presence. I raised my head to look questioningly into the smiling face of Shola as she stood tall over my table, looking as if she had heard that she would win Miss World with a smile on her face. I wondered what she was looking for, but something told me right then that she is up to something, either good or bad. I was not told. Hello, Jide. We finally have a chance to talk. I have been waiting for this day. Finally, it's here. I love the stunts you guys have been pulling since break time. The reason for this we will talk about. But before then, I must commend you for your good sense of judgment and influence. You have succeeded in winning your friends over to your side. She said as Banji moved to my side of the table, a drama was about to begin. Shola, what do you want from me or us? For the past two terms or so, I have done my best to avoid you, and I think I did it well. And I can't remember having any unfinished business with you. If there is any, please let me know and we settle it fast and we end this unholy chat. I rolled out angrily. She took it coolly. She still had that annoying smile plastered on her also frustrating beautiful face. I don't know why I still notice her beauty in spite of my bitterness towards her in such a bad time. She sat herself on my table and made herself comfortable. Then she asked, can't you remember my face? Banji, you too? Still very bitter, my trusted friend replied, we don't need to look into your face. We don't know people like you. Again, she just smiled, or let me say, she began grinning. Well then, since you both seems to pretend not to remember me, you might not get it so clearly, but I will toggle those handsome brains of yours. From the first day you guys had been employed and you stepped into this room, I had been looking for a way to get familiar with you. I thought I was wrong about having met you, but I get more convinced by the day that we had met somewhere. Then I began my research till I got it. Now, I knew why you don't remember me. To cut this long story short, I will ask one question. Where did you guys do your national service? She asked, still grinning at our furious faces. She was still grinning as she asked the question, which made us the more furious. I was wondering that what on earth is this girl driving at? It still had not registered in my mind what our NYSC days had to do with this bitch sitting in front of me. But to see the drama out would be the best. So I replied that sarcastically. We served in Imo State, also local government precisely, and we taught in a school. So what has that got to do with Madam? She took it in her stride, got down from the table, and paced the little space between Banji's table and mine. Then she looked around the room to see what the expression was like on the faces of the other teachers in the room. They were all astonished as to what was going down at that angle of the room. After satisfactorily scanning their faces, she returned to her seat on my table. I looked at Banji and met that deadly look still resident on his face. I know what would be going on in his mind would be, this girl sabi act play o. The statement we had used times and again for people who behave in such manner. She smiled at us again, then said assuredly, I knew it. I can't be wrong. Now, I will finish the rest and take that puzzled look out of your faces. You were Bache coppers, yes or no? Banji was really puzzled. He replied, yes. What again? She continued after a nod. You both served in 2009 and lived in the lodge provided for you by St. Paul Schools, your PPA. This girl really dug deep. Oh. She was eating us close to the belt. Where is she heading to? Yes, came the response from me. It was more of a perplexed shout than a response. Now, when you reported to the school, the principal gave you the subject economics and accounting. She pressed on. Yes, who told you all this? That was Banji's agitated voice. She was beginning to get on his bad nerve. Anything could happen. She ignored his question and faced him squarely, as one would do to a stubborn child. The principal told you of a female Bashir corper who, in her almost 1 year of service, did not report to school other than to collect clearance letter. Can you remember? She spat at Banji, who was seriously on edge. I had to wade in, for if Banji should have talked, he would have squarely punched her in the face. That was Banji. When angry, don't let him talk. So, Shola, it seems you know so much about our service here. So, how do you come into the picture? I asked, praying she would face me. Though I was also boiling inside, I had an unruffled exterior which made me deadlier than my best friend. It worked. She shifted her gaze towards me, and her next word fit the jigsaw puzzle we have been tortuously exposed to for the past 30 minutes. I was the backseat copper the principal was talking about. She said with a pout on her lips. Banji looked from me to her, then back to me. All was now clear. Shola was a backseat copper who was posted to St. Paul's Secondary School. She had told the principal that she would teach mathematics and was giving the senior classes to teach. She was also given a room in the lodge, but she disappeared after the registration, only to appear every month end with one excuse or the other to collect the clearance letter and then to disappear again. How she knew us was still a mystery because when we got to the school and the principal told us, we had to assure him that we were there to stay. Our room was opposite us, and I could then remember to have only seen her the day she came to pack her things. But that day, I did not greet her, nor did she greet me, because I only saw her faintly from our room where I was sleeping. Banji had gone to play football that day. You wonder how I knew you? I had friends who told me about you. Then the principal too told me when I went to him for my final clearance. I knew you well, Jide. You were at home when I came to pack my things. I had met Banji on the field when I was chatting with a colleague that day. Banji just looked at me and asked if I was a new corper, and I had smiled and walked away. I never spent more than a month in total there. I only came for clearance, and you guys were around when I came, but you didn't notice me. So, do you now remember me? Find out what happens in the next episode of Jide's Diary. If you enjoyed this story, you will also enjoy other stories on this channel. Kindly subscribe, hit on the notification bell so you get notified when other stories drop. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and leave me a comment in the comment section. Also, share with friends and family. Till I come your way again in my next story. This is Bolu Rex saying bye for now.